A very good morning and welcome to...
Good morning, thank you for having me.
Now, what is AYGS, and do I pronounce it correctly, or is it AYGS?
No, AYGS is correct. It's a growing conference. So as much as we are now increasingly having numbers of students from across Africa, it might be a bit of a misnomer to say the whole of Africa. We now have 4 African countries that will be represented in this year's conference, from Nigeria, Cameroon, Guinea, and predominantly South Africa. And what we're doing is bringing together young and emerging scholars into one space where they can experience what is a conference and how do we start engaging with ideas at a higher, more profound level. And our primary focus is on capacity building, engaging on a conference. How do I speak? How do I submit a paper? How do I engage with these discussions on a deeper level? And primarily focused on African issues.
Is that the main objective of the conference? And by the way, what is the theme?
The theme for this year is Agenda 2063. We're looking forward. Last year's theme was looking 50 years gone, with reaching AU of 50 years. And now we're having a future look. We've looked to the past and we want to see what do the next 50 years hold for us? What are the new opportunities and emerging ideas that we could engage with in future? And we, as AYGS, are encouraging young scholars. So these are postgraduates or emerging academics who have maybe been in the field for a handful of years, 2 to 3 years. And they're starting to have their own ideas and their own thought processes about what are the current issues and how can we move forward in the next 50 years.
Why is this conference necessary, though?
It's necessary for a multitude of reasons, and I think capacity building is, for me, the most profound. Conferences are not an easy event. Engaging with knowledge exchange is not easy. Knowing how to approach these events, both practically and on an academic level, is imperative for scholars. I wish that I myself, as an academic, had an opportunity to engage with some of the practical dimensions of getting a paper review, for example, of having to stand up and present in front of people you don't know. And furthermore, of dealing with constructive criticism. Sometimes it's a difficult thing to swallow, and we're moving forward and learning and shaping and sharing ideas. Getting young people into one room to share ideas is paramount. If we're going to find solutions, we need to talk.
How many students are coming together from these 4 countries?
Well, we will have 45 participants that will actually be presenting either papers or posters, and then those are just those that are presenting. We have opened to many people who will be registering, and we're hoping for a large turnout, especially because we will have at the Kramer Quad, we're going to have a large exhibition stand available with scholarship opportunities. So anyone that is in the vicinity next week, we urge them to come by, come find out opportunities, come and join in the discussion and debate.
So it's open to everybody that want to come and join in?
It's open, but we would like you to please register beforehand so that we can make the necessary arrangements.
We're going to get the email address or the web registration from you a little bit later, but first tell me, would you say that these young African graduates that's coming together here are the drivers of change in a new Africa in the next 50 years?
I would say so. I think that we need to work with what is currently existing and look forward, and that's the purpose of this conference. So young people, young emerging scholars are the future thinkers of the continent, of the country. And unless we start identifying and understanding what these future thinkers believe to be the pertinent issues, how can we address or think of a future where we can find solutions to challenges we don't yet know? So yes, I think they are.
Top of the agenda, though, for this particular conference, what will it be?
Top of the agenda, we have 4 primary themes, and they're cutting across global change, science and technology, security matters, and all of these come together. So I don't think that we can say there is one top. I think the top agenda is looking forward in all of these crucial cross-cutting agendas. Security,
when you mention security, does that relate to African countries which get current turmoil, such as Nigeria, Sudan, and so forth?
Certainly. I think security is a matter across the world at the moment, not just within Africa. We're seeing increasing threats globally. And I think security matters have been top of the agenda in African conferences for a long time. And excitingly, I think we're not only showing security matters, but we're also showing African solutions to what these security matters could be. And these are young scholars' ideas on how we could move forward. And that's important. There might be fresh, new ideas.
So it could be also that this conference will capacitate them in giving those solutions that we are looking for, African solutions.
Well, we might not be giving it to them. They might be giving it to us.
Yes. Now, How many people were at the conference last year? It's an annual event, right?
It's an annual event. It started in 2005 and it has been growing every year. So 2015 is our 10th year. And it's been gaining further traction, higher visibility. And last year we had about 36 presenters. So we've even increased now just in terms of who will be presenting at 45. So it is increasing in terms of numbers, and participation, I believe, this year will be higher than ever before.
Now, how can students register, or people that want to be there in that particular room and sharing these ideas with these young graduates?
Lindiwe would be the best person to contact. I have given the address to the studio to put up. Alternatively, I can be contacted. People can contact me as well.
I see it's on the screen as well. Yes?
It is. Okay, perfect.
Is that Ima Shologu at hsrc.ac.co.ac.za?
That's perfect. Lindiwe will be able to give them all the necessary instructions in terms of logistics and where to be at what time.
Okay. Now, a group of University Cape Town students we've seen an earlier insert as well, they are complaining about the statue of Cecil John Rhodes on the campus. They want that one to be removed. Your thoughts on this particular, because the young graduates will probably talk about that as well, about legacy and history and whatever comes out of that.
Certainly, I think as much as we look forward, we have to look backwards. And my personal opinion on the matter would be that the strong debate and discussion that are being they are important. It's important that we are speaking about issues, and we're not trying to erase issues or use violence, but that these matters are being debated and discussed. And that's exactly what young people want to speak and talk about.
Transformation issue at the university, because that's where you're going to hold this particular conference. And by the way, it will not be disrupted by these protesting students.
No, as far as we've been led to believe, the students have been having a peaceful demonstration, so I have no reason to believe that our conference will be disrupted, and it's particularly because we are looking at discussing issues and looking forward, so I have no reason to see a conflict of interest in this regard. As for the transformation of the university, I don't think that I'm in a position to pass judgment on that. This is the university's discussion between the university, the faculty and the students, and as you stipulated in your bulletin, now also the state. So I think that the discussion is being had, they've raised important issues, and I'm excited to see what happens next.
What do you expect from this conference, the outcome?
The outcome, I expect large levels of networking between students. We have over 12 South African universities represented. Considering that this is our South Africa's new knowledge base for the future, I'm expecting people to network, to find ideas and to find avenues for collaboration for the next 50 years.
When does it start again, just to make sure that everybody knows?
It starts next Monday on the 30th, and it runs for 3 days. So the 30th of March, the 31st, and then the 1st of April. And that's not an April Fool's joke. It runs the full 3 days. And we look forward to having a thorough debate. And importantly, the Archie Mafeji Memorial will also be held on the Monday. So I think that these are great draw cards, exhibition, poster presentations, paper presentations, young people's ideas. So please come.
What do you expect students to get out of this as well, that's attending the conference?
I expect students to get a large amount of capacity building, and this has happened both prior to the conference and will happen at the conference. Prior to the conference, all the papers and posters that have been presented have been given extensive feedback, so that in future, any student that engages now knows more of what to expect in future conferences as becoming an academic. When you're an academic, you have to be a little bit of everything. You have to be a marketing personality. You have to be able to sit on radio and talk. You have to, or TV. You have to be able to present a paper and understand what you're speaking of. So we're trying to have a multidisciplinary approach where we're saying not only about the academic side, but about presentations, how to conduct yourself, how to abide by the formatting that's required within these avenues and structures. So I think that they will gain networking experience, they will gain capacity, they will learn how to further themselves if they choose to remain within these fields.
My grandmother used to say, preparation, preparation, preparation.
Your grandmother was a wise lady.
Claudia, thank you so much for joining us here on AM News.